Anarchists may have run amok yesterday, but today,
move your bike.
Police were striking back.
Get on the sidewalk. Yeah. Get on the sidewalk or be arrested.
Plainclothes officers screeching up in unmarked vehicles and plunging into the crowd to grab specific protesters, believed to be Black Bloc members. This morning's events were a continuation of the overnight sweep that targeted protesters at a similar rally outside the center.
If you do not leave, you will get arrested.
And at other locations throughout the city. It also brought to an abrupt end the peaceful march that was supposed to show solidarity for the several hundred who have been arrested so far. Some of whom were released to the cheers of the crowd.
Cops did this to me. Yeah.
What were you doing when they picked you up?
Can you describe the conditions in there, please?
Look, I don't really want to talk to anyone right now.
Please, can you stand with us?
But shortly thereafter, the arrest started. Police even using muzzle blasts, which is a mix of talcum powder and trace amounts of pepper spray, to clear out the remaining demonstrators. Even though most of the protesters have dispersed, police are still marching down the street to clear it, much to the anger of many of the people who live on this street, feeling frustrated about what's going on. Well, how do you feel about seeing something like this?
I just think it's really ridiculous. I think Stephen Harper's out of his mind spending the kind of money he does. It's not right.
Shame on you people!
For other residents, it was a chance to record a piece of history, one they won't soon forget.
Back on the sidewalk. Get out of the way!
Tensions here have definitely eased. Interesting thing, a lot of the people we talked to were picked up on breach of the peace, which really isn't a charge. I haven't heard of any serious charges being laid against any of the people that have been walking out the door. Live on Eastern, I'm Roger Peterson. That's back to you, Gord.
Hearing protection just in case. It's also gotten very loud here. Things have changed dramatically. So heavily armed riot officers have now essentially, what we can see, have boxed all the protesters in here. We are included in this box. So what they've been doing over the last couple of minutes, this line right here that you're looking at has been moving forward. So you're going to see in just a couple of seconds here, they're repositioning, but what they've been doing is trying to move us. We're not exactly sure where they're going to move us, but they're certainly amassing in large numbers. There are streams and streams of riot officers arriving here at the intersection of Queen and Spadina. The tone dramatically changed. At Queen and at King and Bay, it was a very peaceful protest. Cyclists then came through and wanted to go along to Queen and Dufferin, and that's when the tone of this sort of changed, not from the protesters, but from the police. A massive presence started coming, and that started inciting the crowd a little bit. So people are definitely on edge. Some people who were onlookers sort of got trapped up in this, and they tried to escape through this police line, but police wouldn't let them. So now some onlookers who just came to look and see everything are now sort of in here and trapped with everybody, including us. So you can see the defensive stance these riot officers are taking. There is 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 lines of them. I would say dozens and dozens, possibly 100 right here, just on the east side of the intersection of Queen and Spadina. So once again, the situation is boiling over. Looks like, again, they're establishing a line. I anticipate they're not going to obviously box everybody in there. What they're trying to do is clear this intersection. They don't want people here anymore. There is a backup of streetcars. There are a lot of people in here. They're actually going down the street here.
Francis, can you hear me okay?
I can, Gord, yes.
Okay, now we keep hearing persistent rumors that police are about to use tear gas in that area to get rid of the protesters that are near the position where you are. And police are taking a very aggressive stance here.
They are. Now, we just got boxed in. Well, they're telling us to move. Okay, you know what's happened, Gord? Here we are, and we are right behind the line. So what they've done is effectively split half the group, including us. and you can see they are armed here with what we saw before, which were the blaster guns. So what they've effectively done is cleared half this intersection. So we are now on the north side of Queen and Spadina. So they've done a good job at trying to clear this crowd, but now they have to completely clear the crowd that's behind us. So if you turn around here, Alfie, you can see that all this crowd that was in the intersection was now pushed back. So
I guess the idea, Francis, I guess the idea is divide and conquer. They want the protesters, or at least the crowd, to be broken up into smaller groups. That way they're easier to deal with.
They're easier to clear. So once again, they're taking another defensive stand, and I anticipate that they're going to start, see, they're moving this side of the street back right now. So this is what's going to happen. So this is going to be, it's just their tactic. They're just going to move everyone back.
Are they saying anything to you? Are they saying anything directly to you?
Move, 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 as they march towards people. So now they've cornered some people onto the sidewalk there by McDonald's. You can see they're essentially moving people onto the sidewalk. So I assume what they're going to try to do is get everybody, and I think we're next, onto the sidewalk and funnel everyone back.
This was the
he
area.
just said step back.
Francis, you were in that area yesterday. It was particularly tense. You had police cruisers on fire and a lot of damage to area businesses, and one wonders why this is again the focus of high tension.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've wondered that myself, why the Queen Street West area. I mean, today it just happened that the cyclists who were at King and Bay wanted to get further along Queen to Dufferin, to the headquarters of the community mobilization offices. We've heard since then that police did not want them going there because what we've heard is they have raided that office and have made some arrests there. So right now they have stopped the crowd here and they're trying to move and clear everyone here. Also, Gord, this is the third time there's actually been a standoff here. Last night, live at 11 o'clock on our City News special, again, I was at this intersection where there were a crowd of people gathered, and once again, this was the point of action. So it happens to be Queen and Spadina for whatever reason.
All right, Francis, we're going to bring in Cynthia Mulligan and Olivia Chow into the conversation. Cynthia is at the Direct Energy Center, the International Media Center. Olivia Chow, of course, represents that area where you are now. Cynthia, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Gord. Olivia and I have been watching Francis's live reaction, and you've been watching with horror. What do you make of all this? This is the heart of your riding.
Yeah, it's this is a city and a country of peace. To see this kind of, riot gear, guns, it's pretty horrifying. And last night, watching the footage of police cars being burned and windows being broken and people with masks running around, it is so unnecessary, especially the G20 summit is now finished. And judging from all the media statements about what has been agreed to, is all voluntary, meaning that there is no real solution on climate change, on making poverty history, on trying to reduce the tax subsidies to the oil and gas industry. And then they're basically coming in for a photo op, and $1 billion later, and the fake lake, and all these demonstrators.
Take a look at these riot police.
Oh my God! And this is our tax dollar at work.
Yes, Gord?
Can you ask Olivia what she would have done at the G20?
What would you have liked to have done? What would you have liked to have seen accomplished at the G20? What should have been done differently?
Well,